We are going live with Monica Boomer from Zaman International. I am so excited to have her on. I can't wait to talk about the great work that they're doing. I love Zaman International, and oh my gosh, they're just amazing. So many of you know about her. Oh, let's see. I think Monica's here. Monica!
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Let me just adjust my makeshift tripod here.
Got it.
All right. Excellent.
Excellent. I know it's always like makeshift. I feel like everybody's kind of makeshifting stuff from home. It's like, we're dealing with it, working from home and all the craziness, but it's like you kind of just got to make it
Exactly.
work, right?
Yep,
And we're all making it work, it seems.
absolutely.
Shocking.
Absolutely. Okay, there we go.
Yay. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Kate?
I'm doing good. I'm so happy. I'm so excited to have you on. You know that I just love all the work that you guys are doing. And so I'm excited to share any opportunity to share the work that you're doing. I'm really excited about it. But I'm excited to spend time with you because I know I've gotten to know Najah and like met you, but it's
Yep.
great to get to know you a little bit more. But for the people that are watching, some of them have obviously listened to Najah's episode. It was episode 53, so I promoted it this morning and I can't wait to keep promoting it. But for those people that are watching right now, can you tell a little bit about Zaman International and the great work that you're doing and also maybe how you got involved?
Sure. So Zaman's work actually began way back in 1996. At the time, Najah was working as a nurse. She was working specifically with the Iraqi refugee population, which was starting to arrive in Dearborn. And she met a family that was in the process of losing twin boys. And when she went to do a home visit for the surviving twin, for one of the surviving twins, she found a family that had absolutely nothing. She walked into their house. The way she describes it is that she thought they were moving in or moving out because there was nothing that would suggest anyone was living there. When she asked to see the baby, she found the baby in a laundry basket, which the family was using as a crib. They were using a one-burner camping stove to prepare the food for the infant, and were storing everything in a styrofoam cooler. So from there, the work of Zaman really began. Um, currently, we serve, currently pre-COVID, we serve single moms and their kids. We provide basic needs assistance, food, clothing, furniture, as well as vocational training to help break that cycle of poverty. Um, our average client, right now, before COVID, is a single mom with between 2 and 3 kids operating on around $11,500 a year. So these are families that have really fallen through the cracks for one reason or another. And we try and provide those wraparound services. I actually started with Zaman about almost 9 years ago now. I was the 4th employee that they brought on. I was supposed to be a temporary office manager, and I haven't left since. We were in half of a dentist's office that was donated to us as our first office, and now, 9 years later, we're in 41,000 square feet. And I'm one of about 28 employees that are really working to serve our mission.
It's so incredible. And I had read about your story and your work, and that's kind of how I got connected to you all originally. But I actually had the great honor of coming into your office and your space and getting to see all of the great work that you do. Because for those who are watching, I mean, you have classes for the women who are coming through their English classes, sewing classes, cooking classes. People can go grocery shopping, so you almost have like a food pantry there. People can come for household goods or clothes or anything. It's like set up almost like, for people are obviously very familiar with Goodwill. It's
Yeah.
kind of a big mosh pit of a lot of different things, like a Goodwill plus a soup kitchen in a way, or food pantry. And then on top of that, you're teaching classes and helping all of these refugees or people that are in need with whatever they possibly could need.
Yes, yes. And it's important to us. We like to think of our center as a one-stop hope. And part of that is because we feel it's the most dignified way to serve people who are in need. The last thing that we want to do as an organization is to have someone come with us or come to us with this long list of needs, because I think we all understand and we all appreciate that with poverty comes so many different needs. It's not just, I don't have money to pay rent. It's, I don't have food on my table. I don't have gas money to get to, you know, the 3 different appointments I need to make. So for us, it's a matter of respecting them, respecting their time, meeting them where they're at, and fulfilling as many needs as possible within one space, in a place where they feel safe, especially when you're dealing with women who have been traumatized or are still dealing with trauma, to create that safe space and then the bring the assistance to them. That really is the secret to success for us. And again, the way that we preserve client dignity as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And probably a lot of people also may know of you because Najah and Zaman were one of the top 10 for CNN Heroes. And I say them both, like I say you all, because I remember Najah saying to me when I was there, she was like, I want it to be everybody's. Like, I want this to be everybody's award. And like, what an honor that you guys have really gained a lot of acclaim, rightfully so, over the past year. And I know People Magazine has paid attention to the work that you're doing and a lot of others. So I can't wait to see what the future holds, because I know that there's such a need and so many needs around the world, and you really are meeting a lot of different needs. So I hope that people will look at your website and all of that and follow you and support you in any way that they can. But how has your work changed with COVID and coronavirus? I know it's such a crazy time in our world, and I know you've stepped in to help people in a whole variety of different ways. I know things have changed, obviously, because, you know, people can't necessarily come in for classes or different things, but like, how has your work changed through the pandemic?
Yeah, so as I mentioned previously, our founder and current CEO is also a nurse. So actually it was in around early February, she started first talking to us about the potential for this to be a very big issue in the US. And we already had our strategic plan ready by end of February. We knew what was coming. And we actually shut down prior to the Michigan shutdown order for the safety of our clients, for the safety of our team. But it really has been just a very swift change in how we do things. We knew that, you know, during business as usual, because our assistance to women is so in depth, we really get to know them on a one-to-one basis. We serve about 150 to 200 families every month. That's typical for us. In the first month after COVID, we served 3,000 families. So we went from that very detailed case management to massive amounts of emergency food distribution, because we identified that as the need. And so we've kind of lifted our eligibility requirements. By that I mean, we're not just serving single moms and their kids, we're serving anyone that needs assistance. We do it right now through drive-through food distributions at our center, at local schools. We're doing one tomorrow with Hamtramck Public Schools, trying to get the food to as many households as possible. Because if the virus has taught us one thing, it's that just as the virus itself affects everyone, regardless of socioeconomic status, regardless of race, ethnicity, so will the kind of the economic impact moving forward. But also universal is our responsibility to help, and our responsibility to find the ways in which we can help the most number of people. So we've made that change. We still, of course, are serving our clients. Through this food distribution, we've also moved our classes online. So our sewing students, our literacy students, our culinary students are still learning. They're still connecting with their teachers. So we're trying to expand, but also maintain that level of normalcy for our clients as well.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a great job. And I think a lot of people right now have really had to focus on innovation, even school systems. I know so many schools are closed, and it's like, how do you still reach the people that you were reaching before? Because you're dealing with a lot of people, like you said, that have traumas. We all have traumas in our lives, but you're dealing with a lot of people who are still dealing with traumas. And so you need to be there and be a consistent space or a consistent force in their life. And so I think it's like finding innovative ways to stay connected with them and help them to continue to find their purpose, because it's a huge part of the work that you're doing. You're supporting them, but you're also helping them, whether it be with, food culinary classes or sewing classes. It's helping them find purpose and helping them find work and helping them kind of get back on their feet and really be the person that they were created to be.
Yes, absolutely. And our, in addition to going virtual with our classes, our social workers have also gone remote. They're all, in their living rooms answering calls. They get anywhere from 30 calls a day to 90 calls a day. But the requests we receive now, they range from people who tell us, and they feel they need to explain. They say, I've never before had to be in a position where I'm requesting for help. I may have volunteered for you before for a different organization, but because of job loss, because of health issues, I'm in a position where I need help. So we're ready to deal with that. But we also have clients from the refugee population that contacted us, for example, right after the shutdown order, completely panicked because their only reference to shutdown was their experience during war. So we got calls from them immediately the next day asking, can I leave my basement? Can I sit on my porch? Can I go get groceries? So, much to the credit of our social work staff, they have the agility, they have the smarts, they have those relationships that they're able to, again, treat everyone with dignity and meet everyone where they're at.
I think that it's so important what you just said there, what you shared, because we're all dealing with this pandemic in so many different ways. And I think it's so easy for all of us to kind of shelter in place and live in our houses and not pay attention to what's going on around us. But there is so much fear out there, and we can't even fathom the fear that our neighbors are dealing with right now, or people in our community. There are so many different people who are seeing this in so many different ways. Obviously many of us have never lived through a pandemic before. So I think as it hit, we even had questions like, how is this going to play out? And even with school closures and store closures and not being able to go places that you're used to, it just kind of challenges the way that you think. But there are so many people who are suffering greatly right now and suffering this tremendous fear. And I think the refugee population is such an important population to talk about, because they're dealing with this in so many different ways, and we need to do what we can to support everyone, no matter where they are.
Yes, absolutely.
And you guys are doing such great work.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for your support.
Yeah. So what's kind of on the horizon for you guys over the next couple of months? I know it's hard to know exactly how things are going to play out, and I think everybody's kind of trying to anticipate just what our next step is. But have you guys been having conversations about kind of what the future holds? Are you going to keep doing online classes and kind of keep things where they're at right now? Or have you guys talked about kind of future steps over the next couple of months?
Yes. I actually had a call with Najah and our COO last Friday, where we actually looked month by month through next January. Again, that's a credit to Najah's strategic thinking. We can't just kind of trust that the impact of this will end when new cases of the disease end. It's something we're going to continue to see. So our plan now is to continue serving, to do whatever we can within our resources, to continue to be a source of assistance. And we're truly not sure when we may reopen and what will look like when we do reopen. We would love to get back to client choice services, our food pantry, as soon as possible, but we're not going to take any risks. Like you said, our, our target population, as refugees, as immigrants, as low-income women, we know that many of them are really at risk health-wise as well. So we don't want to put them in any situation where they would be unsafe. So we're taking it week by week, day by day, month by month, but we see ourselves having an important role in the aftermath of all of this for at least through next January.
Yeah. So what can people do to support the work that you're doing? How can they help you? I know you guys are obviously in Michigan, which is a big talking point right now. I am as well. But it's a big talking point right now because everybody kind of has their eye on Michigan, like what's going on here. And I think a lot of people are watching to see how we end up opening up, same as like New York and some of the other hot spots, to see how we end up opening up, because we obviously were hit harder than a lot of other places. But what can people do, no matter where they are in the country, in the world? What can they do to support you guys in your work?
So I think the simplest thing, if anyone is so inclined, go to our website. We have across the top a banner where you can contribute financially to our COVID relief efforts. If you are local and would like to give in-kind gifts, right now we're in need of hygiene products, basic hygiene products, as well as canned goods, vegetarian if possible, so we can serve as many people as possible. We've also had people from across the country ship things to us from online retailers, so we're able to receive deliveries that way. But if you're not in a position to be able to do something like that, and you may not be in Michigan, we encourage you to find the need in your community and find organizations like Zaman that are trying to serve these needs, and give your time, give whatever you can to those local relief efforts as well.
Yeah, I think you bring up a lot of good points too, because people are looking for ways to help, but they don't know how. You know, we're in our homes and trying to figure out what can we do to help. And I've heard so many people say that, you know, they use their Amazon wish list and they go through and they'll find organizations in their own community or an organization like Zaman and say, you know what, I'm already ordering stuff on Amazon anyways.
Yep.
I may as well just find out what they need. And and you can speak to this too. A lot of things that are needed are simple things like bottles of water, or things that have caps on, you know, like hand sanitizer, or things where if you go to the grocery store, they're like one per customer, or toilet paper, or things like that. And so I've had a couple of friends who have made that their kind of sole purpose, where they're like, okay, I'm just going to like buy one case of bottled water and have it sent to Zaman, or have it sent different places, because you're also dealing with all of that too, like the struggle that we're all facing to find the things that we need, the very basic needs. I'm sure that you're also dealing with that as an organization.
Absolutely. And, you know, as the news broke yesterday about the upcoming protein shortage, that's also a huge issue for us. We're trying to figure out, we have some wonderful local grocery stores that have been supplementing, but we know that even their resources will run out if things continue to go as they're going. So right now we're trying to just amass, like I said, those basic things, hygiene products, shelf-stable food, that to kind of get us through this next couple of months.
Yeah. So people can reach out to you, and also like we encourage people to reach out to their local community and find out if there are organizations, and it's so easy, you know, you can just Google things. And I've Facebook messaged people. I know that you're handling a lot of the social media too. So if people have questions or they want to help, and they want to help in a very specific, tangible way where they can see like, oh, I bought X, Y, and Z. They can reach out and say, hey, I want to buy some things. What are some things that you need? How can I be helpful? Because it's just a difficult time for everyone. And I think like even the unemployment numbers you mentioned, you know, it's all these people that have never faced this before and now are in need and struggling. And so we need to do as much as we can to support people within our own community, as well as other organizations that are doing great work like you guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like you said, I manage, part of my work is I manage our online presence. So if anyone has questions about specifics, I'll be the face on the other end of that direct message, and I will get back to you. And I'm happy to get you involved wherever you're at, and whatever your capacity. We would love to welcome you as what we call a Zamanitarian. So Zaman and then humanitarian combined, which is what we refer to our supporters as.
And no gift is too small too.
Absolutely.
Like that's the thing, is like,
yeah.
There's so much you can do with such a small amount of money. So even if it's a couple of dollars that you can give that, or if all you can do is buy $10 off Amazon, something, and have it sent. I'm sure you would also take Amazon gift cards too. If
Absolutely.
Go that route.
Yes. Yep.
So I want to ask you about too, you guys did this really cool campaign, like the blue lights. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me about that?
Sure. So we know that among our supporters and of course nationwide, the heroes of this this crisis are those frontline responders. Of course, starting first and foremost with the medical community, and even looking at food providers like Zaman, and grocery store clerks and the people stocking the shelves. So in order to show our gratitude for them and to really respect the work that everyone is doing, we lit our Hope for Humanity Center blue. And it continues to be lit blue every night, just as a reminder that people are really becoming heroes, and they're kind of living their heroic lives in response to this virus. We are lucky enough, for example, to be surrounded by, on one side, the Inkster Police Department, on the other side, the Dearborn Heights Police Department, and knowing that they kind of see that tangible, or that visual tribute to them means a lot to us as well, because we know that they're putting themselves at risk to serve our communities.
Yeah, I was so touched by it, and I right away was like looking online to find a blue light. So I was like, what a cool thing, just to even like change the light in your in the front of your house, or somewhere in your house, where you also remembering those people, are heroes. And I think the word hero has taken on a whole different meaning during this pandemic as well, because even us going to the grocery store and simple, going to get gas, or things that we kind of took for granted that we could just kind of come and go as we please. And now seeing those people, like, those are truly the heroes, the ones that are stocking up our grocery store shelves, as much as those who are, working to save lives every single day in our hospitals, and then first responders. I mean, there are so many different people that are sacrificing their lives every single day during this pandemic. And so we need to remember them, but also show our support for them. So I thought it was a really beautiful tribute.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's whatever way that we're able to honor that work and support that work, by really paying attention to the greater health of our communities. We see ourselves as very humbly, but as playing an important role as well, to provide that nutritious food, to provide these hygiene resources to families, to hopefully in some small way prevent some families from experiencing the worst of what COVID threatens. So to do whatever we can, if it's lighting our house blue, if it's putting up blue hearts in your window, if you can't find those blue bulbs, whatever we can do to honor that work and to support that work. Of course, staying home is about as strong of a tribute as you can make to those frontline responders now as well. It goes to Zaman's mission to find a way. Everyone can find a way. Everyone has a responsibility to find a way to serve humanity.
Monica, what's giving you hope right now? I know that we're all dealing with a lot of very difficult things. And I know, as much as, we're dealing with that stuff, we're seeing terrible stuff on the news. And, there's a lot of heartbreaking things that we're each experiencing, and we're each experiencing this pandemic in different ways. But amidst all of that, there's so much hope. So what's giving you hope right now?
I think the number one thing that's giving me hope is hearing from my colleague who's our volunteer coordinator. every day she's bothering us. I say that lovingly. When are we reopening to volunteers? Because I've got a list of 20, 30, 40, 50 people who are chomping at the bit to come and serve. We have our sewing students. 2 of them took the initiative to start making masks for first responders. Just last week, they donated 50 of these masks to Wayne County. Really seeing that mission to connect people with ways to help come to fruition is giving me hope. Knowing that despite everyone's trauma, despite everyone's isolation, feeling of hopelessness, there's still that innate human desire to give and to make life better for someone else.
It's beautiful. Yeah, there's so much hope in our world, and your organization just gives me so much hope. I love following you guys on social media, and I've loved getting to know you and stay in touch with you since I got to come to your office. So I hope that everybody follows you. For people that are watching and they want to get in touch with you and they want to follow you, where can they find out more information about Zaman?
Sure. They can head to our website, zamaninternational.org. They can also, of course, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We've been very active on those accounts throughout the crisis. And like I said, our direct messages are always open, and I'll be the one responding. So hopefully you can put a face with a name.
Awesome. Monica, thank you so much for joining this important live. I think it's so important for people to know about the work that you're doing and know ways that they can get involved. So I hope that everybody will support you and your continued efforts and follow you guys, because you're really changing the world right now, but you're going to be, I can't wait to see what the future holds for Zaman, truly.
Great. Neither can I.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining, Monica, and keep up the great work.
Thanks so much, Kate. I appreciate it.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.